Do it. And we are live. And tonight we are with the one and only Stephen A. and I, Guglich. I'm going to guess
Guglich.
your last
You almost had it. Guglich, yeah.
Guglich. Okay. Whew. Now that that's over, turn it over to Ro. Ro, go for it.
After that, huh? Hey, Stephen, how you doing? You are calling in from where tonight?
North Dakota, by way of New York.
Well, what part of New York?
Well, originally, I'm originally from Yonkers, New York.
And you're in North Dakota now?
And now I live in North Dakota, yes.
So did you just look at a map and say, what's the most anti-Yonkers place that I could possibly find?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't quite that easy. No, it was just I had a friend who happened to move out here, and all of a sudden he calls me and says, "Hey, they got a principal position open here." And I'm like, "Dude, you're in North Dakota. I mean, when you moved to North Dakota, I figured I'd probably never see you again. So I have no desire to move to North Dakota." And he kept on nagging me, and it became something that it just all of a sudden I just decided. I finally decided to pray about it, and I felt led to apply for the position, despite my own flesh. Like, I don't want to go to North Dakota, but God, if that's what you want, I will. And so that's the short story.
And now you own a snowblower.
Oh yeah, yes, we've had several over the years.
How long have you been out there?
We are. I'm finishing up my 15th year here.
All right. Okay. Wow. I got to ask before we get into the books. Coming from New York City and to be a principal in what I'm assuming is a fairly small town.
Well, it's actually Williston, North Dakota is a boom town. So it's where all the oil in North Dakota is being produced. So it's bigger than you would think. And I mean, it's certainly smaller than New York. I mean, the population's about 40,000. But but it's kind of like a mini New York. It's a big melting pot of cultures from people from all over the world coming to work in the oil field. And everybody just assumes that's why I'm here. And I'm like, no, I'm just a lowly principal here in North Dakota.
I don't know if you're going to say lowly in principle. That's be a tough job. But I'm assuming it may be a little easier in North Dakota.
Well, it was at first, I would actually say, but since cell phones and the internet have become so prevalent amongst kids, it is, that's our biggest issue with education right now is kids constantly plugged into some source. And then of course COVID hit us all over the world, and so we're still dealing with the aftermath of that and trying to catch kids up.
All right. So how did you get started in writing? I mean, what's your educational background?
Well, I originally went to film school, and then that didn't work out as well as I had planned. And so I was a little, saddened by by not working out. And my goal was to go to film school and then work either for Disney or make kids movies. I always knew I wanted to work with kids somehow, but I wanted to do that. And like I said, I got a little dismayed with with Hollywood and the film business, and I decided I don't know what I'm going to do. So some friends convinced me, if you're really good with kids, you should just go and be a teacher. And I was like, I don't know. So that's where I went, was a teacher for many years, and then got the call to be a principal, and here I am.
See, that's what happens when you say yes to things.
Yes.
Keep your hand down.
And who is the Sagas of Valora?
Oh, that's my friend Desmond. He is another epic fantasy author. So I guess he saw the post and decided to join us. He's got his new book coming out too, which I'm really excited about.
All right.
The more the merrier.
He's not the guy that brought you to North Dakota, though.
No. A friend and fellow author. Yeah.
So you have two books right now, right? You've got a novel, and what's the other one? A novella?
Yeah, so I have the first book in the Veil Saga series, Piercing the Veil, and then I have a short story called Soul Providers, which is a Vale Saga story. It's a retelling of the Elves and the Shoemaker, but in the world of the Vale Saga. And then I have, those are already published, and then coming out this summer is book 2 of the Vale Saga, which is called Shattering the Veil.
So when did your first book come out?
2023 was when I first published Piercing the Veil and Soul Providers, but at the same time.
So you're taking your time writing?
Yes, yeah. No, well, you know, I'm a principal. I'm a father of 4. I'm a husband. So I don't write as much as I would like all the time. So I just I plug away as best I can. This took me 15 years to write until I finally found a time to write. That was my biggest issue, was trying to find the time. I'd come home and I'd be exhausted, hang out with the kids, and then I would force myself to write some drivel for a little bit, to just to get some progress. And I just finally I prayed about it and said, God, I really want to write this story. I just don't know how I'm going to write it or have the time. And then the next day I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and laid in bed for 2 hours before the alarm went off. Same thing happened the next day. And then finally the third day I was like fed up with getting up at 3:30 in the morning. And I finally just decided to get up and I started to write. And man, I did some of my best writing from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. And finally, after I got into that groove, it only took me about 2.5 years to finally finish the book.
I do some of my best sleeping at that time.
I found that I can sleep at any hour.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Most people do. And that's what's nice about it, because there's nobody around. I don't have to worry about anything at that time. So
no distractions at all.
None.
So I mean, what you said is not an uncommon thing for us to hear, right? That it took a decade to get that first book out.
Yeah.
Almost everybody that comes on here will tell a similar story of having this idea in their head for years and years and years, and finally saying, screw it, I'm going to get it done. What was that point for you that said, right, I've had this idea, I'm actually going to finish it now?
That was really my wife, who, I've always been into creating in some way. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, used to be a dungeon master. I used to write just for the fun of it. And then my wife saw some of my writing. I used to write her little, what we called words of encouragement every morning, little passages of encouragement every morning. And then she was on our wedding night. She gave me all those words of encouragement that I had written, and she bound it in a book. And she said, "You need to be a writer." And that really lit the fire. And that's when then I struggled for the longest time of trying to find the time to write. But I knew at that point, that was when that's about 20, maybe 18 years ago was when I finally decided, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I did. But I also suffered from world building syndrome quite a bit. So that was, most of the writing that I did in that 15 years was all world building.
So you've got a pretty good fleshed out idea of what everything is. Yeah.
As thick as Piercing the Veil is, the world building documents would probably be about that big.
Okay. So, how many words is Piercing the Veil?
How many is 174,000 words? Yeah.
Oh, how many did you cut to get it down to that?
My editor made me cut about 22,000 words. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. He was very adamant. He said, you got to cut it. And I'm like, I don't know where to cut it from. So, we worked on it and finally got there.
Editors. Ugh.
I know, they're the worst. So do you have this whole trilogy all planned out, like what's going to happen and what the end is going to be and all that?
Pretty much. I have several. I have this trilogy and several books beyond the trilogy planned out in my mind. I'm a discovery writer, or a pantser, as you call it. So I know where the story's going. I have a basic idea, but and I do know how the trilogy is going to end. I do know what happens in the book after the trilogy. I have a book that is going to be set between this trilogy and another trilogy, which I call a bridge book that'll kind of bridge the two trilogies together. But as far as an outline, no, I don't have any outlines. It's all up here, and I do have some notes, that I've taken that, I want this to happen type thing. But if any discovery writer will tell you that, yeah, you could want that to happen, but man, there's so much that happens that I may have plans, and then all of a sudden, it didn't work out, and it kind of takes a whole nother road, and it's crazy.
Characters are jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yes, that's for sure.
Let me ask you, Stephen, have you ever had an argument with a character and you won the argument?
Kind of, sort of.
Because I threatened to kill them off, and I still lose.
Yeah, I've interviewed my characters just to kind of get to know them a little bit better, and I've had a plan for them, and then they diverge from the plan. Like, one of the main characters that was supposed to be a villain actually turned into I would say more of a protagonist, but not the antagonist. Which I was really surprised, honestly, where it went. He was supposed to be the villain.
Surprised and then annoyed, because it's like, oh, now I still need a villain.
Yeah. Well, I had multiple villains, but he was supposed to be another one. Yeah.
So what's the premise of the Veil Saga?
So the Veil Saga, think back to when you guys were younger and you were in school, and you were studying history, and especially when you were studying like ancient cultures and whatnot, there's always these stories of magic, or legends, or these unbelievable people with powers, dragons, and every civilization has a dragon story, or more than one dragon story, or other creatures and stuff. So I came up with the idea of the Veil Saga, asking the question, where did the magic go? I mean, if magic existed way back then where did it go? And I came up with the idea of the veil, that at one time elves and gnomes and dwarves and humans coexisted, and that's where we get a lot of the myths and legends from that we have. And then there was a point in history about 4,000 years ago where the elves decided that the humans are just getting too big for their britches. They're not listening. They don't want to work anymore. They just want to continue to take over, and they're eventually going to kill themselves off anyway, because they're always fighting. So they decided to come up with the idea of the veil, and they're going to hide behind the veil, thinking that it's only going to be a couple of 100 years, and they'll withdraw from it. And 4,000 years later, there's the veil is still in existence. So that's the overarching premise. And then in the first book, Piercing the Veil, there's these two characters who meet up with two enchanted beings from behind the veil. I don't like to give away too many spoilers. So two enchanted beings from behind the veil, and they learn about the existence of the veil, and it's their journey into what happens as they learn more about the veil, and eventually wind up piercing the veil.
Nice.
Nice.
It's kind of a little reminiscent of whatever it is that the Harry Potter world is kind of behind, still living in this world, but not really, right?
Yes. Yeah, it definitely has sort of vibes, Harry Potter vibes, or what's the Rick Riordan series vibes?
Percy Jackson.
Yeah, sort of. But so I had one reviewer say that Piercing the Veil is like Harry Potter meets Lord of the Rings meets Indiana Jones. That's kind of how they described it.
I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I do. I thought it was a great. It was really cool. I had one of my beta readers say that Shattering the Veil is like, this is like Tom Clancy wrote a fantasy novel. So I thought that was a really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you can get Tom Clancy numbers out of it, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's the dream.
Students, please gather in the auditorium. We have an announcement. I'm out. Good
Oh,
luck.
I thought you were going to say the reading for all levels this year. The book that you will read will be
That's right.
Piercing the Veil.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be kind of a little bit of a rope to walk, because you can't just talk about it all the time, because
not at all. No, actually, people, I walk it very tightly, where people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were an author," or "I didn't, how come you never talk about your book?" I'm like, well, I don't ever want to push. I don't want to feel like, I'm using my job as a principal to influence people to buy my book. So,
right.
If you happen to hear about it, you hear about it, which is great. I mean, I've had lots of people come to me like, "I heard you wrote a book. I want to buy it." Okay, well,
in the back of my car.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I did donate a copy to the middle school library here in town too. So, they have. They do it because I used to be a middle school principal, so I had quite a few kids who were interested in it.
So I'm assuming this is not grimdark if you donate it to the middle school library.
No, it's actually the opposite. It's more of what we call noble bright, where you have characters who are inherently noble-hearted or good-hearted,
decent, yeah,
and they they still have flaws. Believe me, the main characters are very, very flawed, but it does have it's more in that category.
It's almost too bad that you have to walk that line, right? Because it would be such a great example for kids to see people who they interact with on a daily basis do these things, right? I mean, it just to show that you can do this. There's no reason that you can't. These opportunities exist for you,
Well, for that matter, yeah. I mean, I am a very big literacy advocate, and we do talk about writing and reading at school all the time. But I also have, as part of my my publishing company, Your Wildest Dreams Publishing, we also have the League of Young Writers, where I have about 14 kids, teenagers between the ages of 12 and 18 right now, who are part of this writing group, and we get together every now and then. I mentor them in writing, and that's kind of one of the things that I am passionate about. But again, like I said, I don't want people to feel like they have to buy my book because I am the principal type thing. So,
right.
So, do you sell only on Amazon, or do you?
No, I went wide. It's available wherever. Yeah, Piercing the Veil is available wherever you can buy books. I like to support a lot of independent bookshops, so I did contacting them, and when the book was first out, and so they are able to get it through Ingram. It is available on Amazon. It's available Kobo, wherever you can find books, that's where it is. And if they can't get it, they could just order it directly from Ingram.
And how's that working for you, being wide? I mean, do you see like decent results from all those other places?
I do. I do see results on a monthly basis. Nothing that's going to cause me to stop working as a principal or anything like that. But yeah, I do see most of my sales are on Amazon, and most of my audiobook sales are on Audible. But every now and then I will see Kobo, Apple Books. Trying to remember some of the other ones that are more Spotify for the audiobooks. So, but yeah, most of the sales are on Amazon or I try to get out into the public as much as possible. Either doing a book tour or a book signing somewhere. Like in the summer when I'm not working, I'll do a little mini book tour on my way back from North Dakota to New York, New Jersey. I'll stop at independent bookstores and try to get out. do some
You,
signing.
you do any type of like shows or anything where you set up a table and
Yeah, I have done a few. We actually have one here in Williston called Bach and Con, so I do that one. I've been to there's one big one in Fargo. I've gone to uh, a few others, but the biggest problem with those is a lot of them are during the school year, so it's hard. I try to hit the ones that are in the summertime.
Yep.
yeah, it's difficult to find where they are. And by the time sometimes that you do find them, it's like, okay, I'll put this on the list for next year because it's too late for this year. And
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
there's a whole bunch for that.
I guess it would look bad if during the school year you took time off to go to Comic-Cons as a principal.
Yeah, well, I do get personal days, and I have taken some personal days to go to like a writing conference, but most of the time I don't do that.
Well, the reviews are pretty good, so you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I cannot complain. People have really enjoyed the book. I have a lot of teenagers out there who really enjoyed the book, and it's been really humbling to hear the feedback on the stories, on the story that people have read so far.
And teenagers has got to be a kind of a fickle market, yeah.
Yeah, and my intention was I wanted to write a book that was competitive with some of the modern stuff or the traditionally published stuff that's out there, but that was teen friendly. I wanted teenagers to be able to read it and have their parents read it along with them too. So I always recommend, that's always my recommendation. If you're into fantasy and your kids are into fantasy, read it together, because there's something in there for everybody. And most of the people who have taken my advice on that have really enjoyed it. Especially reading it with their teens.
So, with the group, the writing group that you mentor, what kind of advice are you giving this next generation of indie authors?
So the first biggest piece of advice that I give any author is to just write, because a lot of times people will get bogged down in the minutia of how do I spell this, or how should this be formed? How does this, don't worry about any of that stuff. Get your first draft done. Just get that story out of your head and onto paper or onto the screen. And then you can worry about that when you're working on the second draft. So that's the first thing. That's really what we work on. And then the other thing that we work on is critique groups or critique partners, that's been one of the greatest things that I've had as an author, to have a good critique group and a good critique partner that just really helps just really brings my story together. One of the things when I mentor the students, I talk to them about how Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were part of a writing group called the Inklings, and they just they fed off of each other and they critiqued each other. And Tolkien probably would never have published if it wasn't for the encouragement of C.S. Lewis. So that was, those are the two biggest pieces of advice that I give those authors, is that, or those would-be authors, those young authors.
On that note, my wife told me the other day that apparently The Magician's Nephew is going to be made into a film.
I've heard about that. I've heard that they're working on that one, and Netflix is also working on a series. And I don't know if that's the same thing, or Netflix is doing a separate Narnia series, and The Magician's Nephew is finally going to happen, or
I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
It would be good to see it done well. I mean, the last two that they did were actually quite good.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. Oh yeah.
So we have a question here from Tobias. Is the character Jeremy Goodson based on the author?
Oh, thanks, Tobias. I appreciate that question. Yes and no. I would say, like my son just said in the chat as well. He's loosely based on me. He's based on a 28-year-old version of me. He's a fourth grade teacher. He starts out as just as this nerd who gets involved in the politics of the Vale reluctantly, and so he does have a lot of similar characteristics as me when I was 28. Yeah.
And we have one more question from the audience. Do you think living in North Dakota has changed your writing versus if you had stayed in New York City?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Oh, don't tell him that. It's my brother. The last thing you want to do is compliment him.
Well, thanks for asking, Dan. Probably. I would think a lot of living in North Dakota has changed my thinking, my thought process over the years. So, and I think when I was living in New Jersey or New York, New Jersey area, I was a teacher at the time. I hadn't quite become a principal yet. And New York, New Jersey is a lot more hustle and bustle.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question. Although a lot of Pierce in the Veil does take place in New York City, so that has influenced.
So I have a follow-up question. If there were actually elves skipping about in New York City, would anyone notice?
Funny that you mentioned that. I actually have a similar line to that in Shattering the Veil, where an elf says something very similar. But yeah, it would be. They probably wouldn't notice it as much because there's New York City has certainly got its variety of people and all sorts of clothing and colors and everything. Yeah. So they wouldn't stick out quite as much as they would in North Dakota.
Yeah.
How much of a culture shock was it for you going from a city of 14 million to a quote unquote city of 40,000?
It was weird, I tell you, because one of the things that I first noticed when we got here back in 2011 was that it was almost like going back in time 10 years. When we got to the gas stations were still, you could just walk up and pump your own gas, and you didn't have to go inside and start and give them your credit card or anything. You just walked up and pumped it, and they had
that's a uniquely Jersey thing, I think, and maybe somewhere in Oregon. But
but usually you have to. They didn't even have, some of the pumps didn't even have a credit card thing, so you could just pump and then go inside.
Yeah, you pump first and then you go pay, and they just assume you're going to go in and pay.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was one of the weird things. Also, like internet technology, like we were slow. They had slower internet here, which I was surprised. Not quite the old router that makes all the noise, but definitely like when we left New Jersey, they were already getting the 1 gig, and there was nothing like that here and the fiber optic lines weren't out yet. Right. So that was weird. And then at first when we got here, it was at the height of the boom, but it was still a very Midwestern culture. So it was just a bunch of, Caucasian people with long hair and tattoos. And that was, for us, that was strange because we were so used to the melting pot of New York and New Jersey. And then a couple of years later, it really started to pick up where people from all over the world were coming in. And it was even strange for one of my teachers, and I hope nobody takes this in a bad way, because, but it just shows you how the mentality of this small town was before it got hit with this big boom town. So I had a teacher come in to me and say, we got our first kid he was from California, but he was black. And he was really the first black kid that we had. And she comes in and she's like, Steve, I don't know how to teach a black kid. And I didn't want to laugh at her, and I didn't, but I'm like, there's no difference. You just teach him the same way you would teach any of your other students. I mean, you just treat him with kindness and love and teach him just like you would anybody else. But that just kind of just shows you what the culture was like here. And then, like I said, 2 years later, we got hit. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it became just like New York City as far as the variety of people.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, and it's totally aside from your book. Sorry, but I find this kind of fascinating. Does it scare you living in a boomtown? Because I mean, the other side of that equation is always the bus town, right?
Well, if I was working in the oil field, I think it would. But I am, I've been here for 15 years. I have tenure. I don't think I don't think I would lose my job. Maybe when I first got here, yeah, because I was the low man on the totem pole. But I mean, I'm one of the senior principals in the district, so
But the place is kind of established enough now, where you think it could diversify and
yeah.
Yeah.
If the district, if we ever had to start shutting down schools, which is very unlikely at this point, and we're getting ready to open a new school this fall, brand new school, and still keeping the other schools open. So we had to hire another principal and whatnot. But I would think that, as far as seniority, if we ever had to, if the bust happened, I think, I would be fine. Plus, I only have 11 more years before I could retire. So I think I can make that last.
11 years.
So how long is your commute to work? Because, out there, it could be 20 miles and,
Yeah, the school that I work in is in town, and I live in town, so it's it's on the other side of town, so it's about 10 minutes. 10-minute commute, but it's not bad. Yeah, nothing like when I lived in New York, New Jersey area. That was.
Yeah, but I can't imagine the public transport's up to much either.
No, there isn't any public transport. There's taxi companies, and that's about it. And they do have a senior citizen bus. That's it.
All right, so where are you right now in Shattering the Veil? What you said you're going to try to get it out this summer.
Yeah, so I am
done the drafting, or
so the beta readers are finished with the third draft. So I'm working on the fourth draft based on all of their feedback. So I'm hoping to get that to my editor in the next couple of weeks, and then she'll tackle it and then tell me what I need to do for the final draft, and hopefully that will be ready by June or July. We do have the Kickstarter coming up for Shattering the Veil. That launches on March 31st. So you can pre-order the book right there on Kickstarter, and you can pick up a couple of extra bonuses as well.
Nice. Is this another 175,000 word?
Right now, it's actually it is a slightly small. It's only 164,000 was the last word count that but so yeah, it's a little more fast paced than Piercing the Veil. Like I said, it was, the Piercing the Veil is more like the fairy tale happening, whereas Shattering the Veil becomes this whole international conspiracy Tom Clancy type book. Same characters, but just a different sort of vibe, because it's taking the events in Piercing the Veil take things to the next level.
I don't know if you've ever watched this show before, but Michael here has an odd, inexplicable aversion to books over 500 pages. How many pages is Piercing coming in at?
Oh, Piercing the Veil was 614. I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That means I'm not going to read your book, but it does sound good.
It's good.
You can listen to it on audio. I got an amazing.
Oh, well, that's okay then. We can do that.
We got an amazing world-class narrator who just is incredible. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Tobias has a question. He must be a big fan. He asked about your main character, and now he wants to know what socials you hang out on. So I think you have a stalker.
Well, thanks again for asking, Tobias. Pleasure to meet you. I am on pretty much all the major socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the former Twitter, which we now call X. Those are the main ones. I've started a Blue Sky account I'm not on there as much. Trying to, and I did have a Tumblr, but I haven't used the Tumblr in a while. And I'm on YouTube as well.
I didn't Tumblr still existed.
Yeah.
So you have your own YouTube channel?
I do, but I don't post to it as much as I should.
It's kind of hard in your job, though, to be really, really visible on social media. I'm actually surprised you said you were on all those.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it is hard. I mean, I try to. I use a program called Later where I can post. I can make one post and then it'll post to all of them for me. So that helps. But then trying to find the time to actually find something to post or record a video or something like that for TikTok.
You don't wade into all the hot political topics of the day?
No, I completely stay out of politics whatsoever.
Very good call. Very good call.
Yeah, I don't even, if I see somebody engaging in politics, I step back. I don't want anything to do with that.
I usually mute them. So yeah.
You strike me as being of an age that it's difficult to kind of get into social media sometimes, because I think I know for like Mike and myself, a little less Mike now. He's kind of taken to it like a fish to water.
Oh, don't even say that.
We always have in the back of our heads, why would I tell people this? Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, I think that is the trap that we all of us fall into, because I mean, even just who wants to read my book? I mean, why would anybody want to read my book? But I think that's the voice of doubt in your head that because there are people, obviously, with all the great reviews that I had and all the sales that I've had, there are people who want to read my book. And there may be people who want to hear from me. And if they don't, then that's the wonderful thing about scrolling. You just keep going, So there are people who do want to hear from us. They want to know what's going on. I had I'm trying to remember who said it, but they said that, they're not going to want to read your book until they know who you are. So that's kind of a butchered quote, but that's kind of the idea there.
So if we found you on TikTok, would we find you like taking part in the latest dances and things like that?
Yeah, my TikTok is all over the place. Yeah, I have some dances that I've done on there with my daughter and a couple of my students, actually. I have interviews, segments on there. I have silly things that I've done with my son where he poses in different superhero. One of my younger sons poses in different superhero stuff. So I'm all over the place on TikTok. It took me a while to figure TikTok out, and TikTok is like, it's definitely a young person's thing. But usually my first video is just trying to figure out all the different filters.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when you get a little older, you'll start yelling at clouds, and that could make great TikTok.
I should do that. That would be. I think that would just be great. That would be a really good bit to do. I like sitting on your porch, looking up at the clouds and starting to yell at them. I love it.
So, Stephen, is Jeremy Goodson? Is that your main character?
Jeremy Goodson is the main character. Yes.
So we have a game we like to play here.
Okay.
We want to learn more about your character.
Okay.
But we don't want spoilers. So therefore,
like that, even better.
We are going to transport Jeremy to a new location and give him an encounter, and then we're going to say go, and you tell us what happens.
Oh,
and if you fall into the trap of, well, he might try this, does it work? That means that I have to roll, and I roll more ones and twos than anyone you've ever met in your life.
All right, I like.
So you have been warned.
D&D-esque. Okay,
I'm kind of excited for this because we don't often have dungeon masters on in the Bald&Balding. So this is good. This should be good.
So good old Jeremy walks into the old apothecary.
Okay.
And the guy says, "Oh, here, I want you to have this. It's a potion, but the label's fallen off." He's like, "Guarantee it's 100% effective. I just don't know what it does, but you'll need this." And Jeremy's like, "Why would I need this?" And then poof, he is gone, and he is transported to a new world. and now I have to get my dice out to roll to see where we're going.
All
So
right.
That is
you have a couple decisions to make, Stephen.
Okay.
Jeremy can choose either a weapon or a random object. If he chooses a random object, he will have an encounter with a regular, normal creature. And if he chooses a weapon, he will have an encounter with a fantasy type creature.
Okay.
So choose.
So do you want to know the inner thoughts, or do you just want to know what he's going to do?
you tell us what would he do?
Okay. So he would be very tempted to take the weapon, but he would be very fearful to take the weapon because he's not really trained. So he would probably pick the random item.
Is he a human?
Yes, Jeremy's a human.
Okay, so he's on this side of the veil.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and we should mention he doesn't get any weapons or anything that he has. He's just him in a simple tunic is transported. So the only things he has is this common item he's going to get, which I will tell you what it is in a minute, and then the potion that is unlabeled that is 100% effective either on him or on the, let's say, adversary, although it doesn't have to be adversarial, but it tends to go that way. So anyway,
All right.
so
Hold on. Does Jeremy? You said he's human, but is he mundane human, or does he have any magical ability that he knows about?
He doesn't know anything. Yeah, he's a normal, ordinary guy, and that's the first chapter goes into how normal he is, and then things happen. So
Okay.
yeah, he would be he'd be freaking out, but he'd be very excited about the fact that he's been transported to another world, and he's got a tunic on, and he's not wearing his school clothes or anything like that. So he'd be really excited about that.
Okay. All right.
okay, so this alien world that he's been transported to, that he's so excited,
Yeah.
is a collapsed mine shaft.
Oh, okay. So now he would be a little worried. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So narrow tunnels, unstable supports, dust clouds reducing visibility, occasional cave-ins triggered by loud noises.
Oof. Okay.
Let's hope the random item has a shovel.
Yeah, and he still has to come up with an adversary. This is just the setting. So, but he does get a regular item, which I rolled a 5, which means that he also finds with the potion in one hand and in the other hand, he has a pair of blacksmith tongs.
Okay. All right.
And as he's looking here, what's causing all this, all the dust, what's the noise or whatever, and then he hears the roar of a grizzly, which of course is in the collapsed mine shaft with him.
Oh, okay.
So he can see the dust cloud from like the latest roar. He can't see the grizzly yet, but grizzlies can smell really well, so it's only a matter of time. What does Jeremy do?
Does he know, and he knows the direction the grizzly's coming from?
Sure, there's a dust cloud coming from one of the. So you assume there.
So then he would try to go far away from that as possible if he could. I mean, he would look for a way out in that collapsed mine shaft in the opposite direction of the grizzly.
Hey, Mike, how is Jeremy seeing anything?
What?
How is Jeremy seeing anything?
We have given him dark vision.
Okay. All right.
All right. Then he would be surprised at that too. Whoa, I have dark vision. All right. And yeah, so he'd be excited at first, then he hears the grizzly, and now he's terrified.
All right.
And there are lanterns hanging on the very space through which, but none of them are lit, of course.
Okay.
So, Ro, does he find a empty shaft? What do I need to roll? Or does he? Is it collapsed?
I think the only thing you'd really need to roll for does he come into a dead end?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So 1, 2, or 3 on a 20, he comes to a dead end. Let's be nice.
I can do that.
Can we see?
Actually, I got a 19. So
okay.
he, in fact, does not come to a dead end.
Wow.
Excellent.
So he is going directly away from the noise of the grizzly.
Yeah. He's a little panicked right now. Yeah.
Okay. Does he get a little more panic when he realizes the grizzly's catching him?
Yeah. As soon as if the grizzly's there and he's got no place to go, yeah, then he's going to try to start talking to the grizzly.
Ooh, that always ends well.
Yeah. If he's got no place to go, yeah, then he's going to talk.
Well, right now he has a shaft that goes on, but
Okay.
Grizzly's
He's running until he can't
Okay.
run anymore. Yeah.
okay.
Keep
Yep.
swimming, just keep swimming, just
Yep.
keep swimming. Let's see.
He's
regular
wishing and hoping
human.
right now that he can get out of here.
Give me a 12 or better on a 20, Mike.
Okay, hold on. Let's do this.
Ooh, oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, because Mike's
11. No, I will not give you a 12 or better.
Oh, okay.
he trips.
All right. So then he's gonna back up and he's gonna be like, okay, he's gonna try to talk to the bear
The
because
thing is behind you.
what's that?
You're running. It's behind you. He just fell face forward.
Yep.
Okay.
But he still has the potion and the tongs.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the tongs.
Yeah. To tweak the bear's nose.
Yeah. All right. So where's the bear now? So if he turns around, is he gonna see the bear?
With your dark vision, I'd say yes, because it's
Okay.
a long, straight kind of.
All right. All right. So he's gonna. So the bear's closing in on him. He looks at the potion, and yeah, it's either he dies by the bear or he dies by the if the potion is not a good potion, he's gonna. So he doesn't really have much of a choice.
You can drink the potion or you can throw it at the bear. It will work in either case.
Drink it. He's gonna. Yeah.
Okay. So he drinks it, and he looks down at his hand, and he can't see it. Matter of fact, he can't see any part of himself now.
Okay. All right. So then he'll back up against the wall, hoping the bear can't see him either.
Bears have a pretty good sense of smell.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But Jeremy's not thinking; he's panicked right now.
Fair.
Yeah.
But panic that's like a smell all of its own, isn't it?
And he's remembering what his mentor keeps telling him: if you panic, you're going to perish. But he can't get that through his head.
Okay. We'll give the bear a perception check, Mike.
Okay.
And let's see. The bear would be confused.
Yeah.
The thing is now gone.
Right, and they don't generally inhabit collapsed mine shafts.
16 or better.
17.
Oh.
So he does in fact smell you.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
But he's approaching very cautiously because obviously he can't see you.
Okay. So now he's going to smack him on the nose with the tongs.
That's bold.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
He could keep running, but if the invisibility potion doesn't help much.
I would assume it would be fairly easy to do that.
Yeah.
12 or better, Mike.
4.
I think Jeremy just died in this.
So he dropped the tongs because he's a little nervous, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't strike the bear, but he dropped the tongs. The bear, of course, sees tongs appear out of nowhere, fall to the ground, scares him a little bit. He backs up a half a pace.
All right, then Jeremy's going to keep running in the opposite direction like he did before.
Okay. Bear's going to sniff the tongs a bit, so you get a little space. Mike, anything above a 6 in the bear chases.
Hi, Dad.
12.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Dad, we're watching. We're watching you.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
What should he do? The bear is chasing his character. What should he do?
He's asking you. He wants to know what should I do if the bear is chasing me.
That's probably the best idea.
That's my youngest.
After you again, do you have any other brilliant plans that you would like to try?
Okay, so I have nothing else. I've already, the only thing left is I have the glass bottle. So I guess, no tongs, a tunic, and an empty glass bottle. I guess now it's time to throw the bottle at the bear.
It's either the bottle or insults.
Okay, Mr. DM, I'm going to let you choose what the hit number is on a guy stopping and throwing a glass bottle at a bear.
Oof. I'd have to look on my charts.
Just wing it. I'm just making this up as I go.
Yeah, well, he's untrained, so I would say it's going to be. I would say 15.
I was going to say 14. Let's go with
Okay.
14.
Wow, I was going to say 12. I'm nicer than either of you.
Yeah. No, he's Jeremy.
15. It doesn't matter. 15. It works.
It hits. So the bear's running along, and all of a sudden a glass vial comes out of nowhere
Yeah.
and pops him in the nose.
All right.
Again, the bear skitters to a stop, takes a little bit backwards, and starts sniffing at the glass vial. And your guy is
Keep him
Running.
running,
Okay.
getting out of there.
Mike.
Yes.
Does he find a way out of said caves? He's been running in a pretty much straight line, so he's not.
Yeah. And you got to figure this is like a main tunnel if the bear's going to be in there because, could get pretty tight.
Right. So he's going up here probably.
So should we roll for it?
I'd say.
You're probably right on the main tunnel, so he should be able to see light. Right?
Unless it's night.
Let's let him see some freaking light.
Okay, it's noon.
Let there be light.
And so he has hope. Can he get to the outside before the bear gets there is the question. 50-50. 10 or below, he cannot. 11 or above, he can.
And I killed your character. 3.
Okay. So you know you're not going to quite make the light. Any other ideas?
So I'm just in a shaft. There's no light. Or there's light, but I can't reach it.
It's getting bigger. I mean, you're running uphill at it, so the entrance is there. You see it,
But I don't make it before the.
but you figure, judging by that you're
The
not
noise behind you.
not that fast.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah,
lean against the wall and hope the bear just runs for freedom?
No, I've already been here. I already know he can smell me, so I'm just gonna keep running.
Okay, perception check. Mike, give me a 13 or better.
16.
Ooh, okay.
Out towards as you're running up, you notice the gravel is getting bigger. There are some like stones and things like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just smooth from some of the.
All right. Well, maybe I could distract the bear again. Let me scoop up the biggest rock I can get my hand on and throw the rock. I mean, I think I'm a little impressed with myself because I hit him with the bottle. So why not hit him with the rock?
Okay, Mike,
Yes.
14 or better.
2.
Oh, all right. I missed.
You missed,
But he should still be distracted.
but it went by him and it hits the roof of the cave because you are throwing downhill.
Oh.
So the
okay.
bear does stall a little bit. So you probably have time to get out now.
All right.
What's he see when he gets outside, Mike?
Freedom. This shaft is about a third of the way up on a mountain. It is still below the tree line. And there are, I don't know, pine, spruce, what is there? There's stuff out west. Those types of trees around him. And there is a bourbon still.
A what?
A bourbon still.
Yes.
On
So
the mountainside. Okay.
yes.
Mike, roll me one more, 15 or better.
12. I will not.
All right. There was something that you heard at the beginning of this. When you got there, there was something about this place that you were told that you can't quite remember what it was.
Oh.
About these
Okay.
caves. Had something to do with the caves and the fact that that they collapsed often.
Oh. So if I want to, so I could try to stop. I would still think that the bear is trying to come after me. So I probably would want to try to collapse the cave on the bear if I could. So there's the bourbon still, there's the cave entrance, and a bunch of trees, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So boy, I don't have much time. Examine the bourbon still real quick. Anything around the bourbon still?
It's not running, but does have like a copper pot. I don't know, random buckets. I don't know, what is there at a bourbon still? I don't know how to make bourbon.
Now if I look up, is it like do I see the cliffside or something or anything?
If you look up, you can see the mountain extends up a good 2/3 higher than where you are. If you look down, you can hear that there is a river in the valley.
Okay. All right. So let me. I'm still worried about the bear, so I want to try to. So I'm just going to start throwing junk into the entrance of the cave.
Okay, Mike, give me a 13 or better, because you went looking around that thing.
14.
You remember it now. Loud noises will cause a collapse.
Okay. All right. So, I'll just start banging the pot and the or the kettle and the pail
Buckets
together, or the bucket
okay.
together, trying to make a loud noise.
Okay, should get a pretty good echo off the thing. What would one need to actually have enough noise to create? Probably be pretty high, right? 15 or better? Because Mike is not going to roll a 15 or better.
19.
Get the hell out.
All right.
So there's a landslide.
All right. Am I caught in the landslide? Oh, great.
Let's say that you're not.
All right.
But it does cover up the hole quite nicely. And
yes,
the bear is digging his way out.
Okay. So then I'm going to try to get as far away as I can. Head towards the river.
All right. So
if I can.
Yeah, I think at this point we let you escape back to your own world, right, Mike?
Yep. That's when the apothecary comes back and says, "Great job. Did you like the potion? Because you've now just reappeared. It was only good for 10 minutes."
Ooh, okay. All right.
So that was the run away strategy. It works sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's what Jeremy would do at first. You know, he's learning to be a better hero, but his go-to is running.
Self-preservation is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Against the bear, I think staying and fighting is probably not a great choice, especially grizzly.
Yeah.
A black bear, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So, folks, if you haven't already, go check out Piercing the Veil. It will keep you reading past noon. Well, 600 and something pages of it. And the follow-up book 2 in this series, Shattering the Veil, will be out later this summer. And also in this world is the novella Soul Provider.
This is a reminder.
What was that?
Oh, that was my Alexa going off. Sorry.
All right. And check out theveilsaga.com. And if you're in North Dakota, swing by and say hi if you're in Williston. And you are probably contractually obligated to say go
Hawks. Oh, yeah.
Go Hawks.
Or Coyotes is the district. It's see now, where are you guys from?
Virginia.
Virginia. So do you call them coyotes or coyotes?
Coyotes.
Yeah, that's what I was. It took me such a long time to get used to. But yeah, they call them coyotes out here, and that's what that's the district, the high school mascot. And my school, we have the Hagen Hawks. Go Hawks, go Coyotes.
So you've actually taken to calling them coyotes now?
You get in trouble if you don't. I mean, they correct you quick.
Yeah, I'm just like that. I just refuse to make those changes. There's a town here that they call Stanton, and it's spelled S-T-A-U.
Aunton. Staunton.
Staunton. It should be Staunton.
It should be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's Stanton. It's like, you can call it Stanton all you want. It's Staunton.
Just like I call it Norfolk, even though everyone here calls it Norfolk. I'm like, it's an O, people. It's Norfolk.
No, that's an English thing from
Wow.
back in the old country. It's
Well,
just-
we got rid of them, remember? Happened 250 years ago.
it's their name, man.
I say this as I live in Prince George County, which was founded in 1610.
Wow.
All right. So, folks who are still here, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe and go get Steve's book. And Mike and I will tell you in a minute if I can find
Are back
that.
tomorrow with MD Boncher at 7 p.m.
And there it is. That's what
I
we
figured
need.
you were going to surprise me and put me on the spot, so I looked.
No, I was going to do that. And Mike and I have some news of a totally different nature that we won't be telling you about for a few months yet. So, just throw that out there.
Wow, that's very unhelpful.
Good way to build anticipation and make people want to come back for more.
Right?
Yeah.
Come back in a few months. You'll figure it out.
All right.
Stephen, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you guys. This was fun, and I do appreciate your time, and I hope to talk to you guys again soon.
All right. Good luck with the Veil Saga, and
Thank you.
thanks for educating our kids, man. It's important work.
Thank you.
Okay, all that's left is the awkward wave as we wait for YouTube to shut down. I've hit end.